Section 4. The Lemuria Civilization. The sudden change in the Earth's axis was the direct cause of Mutram's end. One evening during sunset, people looked upon the sky to find it a ghastly red. The entire sky looked as if it had been drenched in blood. A deluge of inquiries flooded the civilization's leading scientists, but no one could provide an answer. Then, at around 10 o'clock that night, all the stars began to fall from the sky. People soon realized that the Earth itself had begun to spin the way a ball underwater rotates when it shoots up to the surface. The Earth had flipped itself over. Within months of this phenomenon, snow began to fall on the once temperate lands of Mutram, and the ground began to freeze over. This sounded the death knell for Mutram, although its people put up a fierce fight against starvation. Some even created underground cities in order to survive, but even these would disappear within 3 years. Unfortunately, the rainy season had just started. This time, the heavy rains fell as snow, and in less than 2 weeks, the ground was covered by more than 5 meters, over 16 feet of snow. The capital city, Lamut, was destroyed, although some inhabitants managed to escape on ships, allowing part of the Mutram civilization to take root on a new continent. At that time, there were no large continents in the region that is now the Indian Ocean, but a small island about twice the size of Japan did exist. Several thousand refugees from Mutram settled there, and their numbers grew over time. 86,000 years ago, this island suddenly began to rise from the sea, lifted by a massive expanse of land that emerged from the ocean. In just a year's time, this landmass had grown into the massive continent that would become known as Lemuria. Shaped like a diamond, it stretched 3,500 kilometers, 2,200 miles from east to west, and 4,700 kilometers, 2,900 miles from north to south. Vegetation grew in abundance on the fertile soils that developed on this continent. About 44,000 years ago, a spirit who would later incarnate in Greece as the ninth dimension spirit Zeus was born in Lemuria. His name was Elemaria. A man of exceptional holiness, Elemaria was a genius in all aspects of art, including literature, fine arts, and music. Through art, the great saint Elemaria taught people the joy of living and the glory of God, and as a result, music, painting, literature, poetry, architecture, and sculpture attained previously unknown heights in the Lemuria civilization. Many who excel in the arts today may have learned their skills in a previous life in Lemuria. About 29,000 years ago, after the incarnation of the great saint Elemaria, another ninth dimension spirit was born. This spirit, called Manu, was given the name Margaret. His name meant one who rises to compete, and had two implications. First, his greatness rivaled that of Elemaria, who had been worshipped as the people's almighty god. Second, he was the first person to introduce competition into the arts. Margaret also served to bring an enormous light to Lemuria, and as a mark of respect, he was often called Great Master Margaret. Margaret taught that God is ultimately found in the greatest expression of art. He divided his people into tribes according to 5 different fields of the arts: music, painting, literature, architecture, and craftsmanship, and encouraged all to strive for perfection. Every 3 years, he held competitions to determine which tribe had produced the finest art, and the winning tribe was given the prize of being the country's ruling class until the next competition. The system of selecting rulers through fair public contests became the forerunner of modern democracy. Because he saw God in great art and rewarded great artists with leadership positions, he created the foundations for a form of rule that combined religion and government.